Hello everyone, it's that college football guy back with another video for you. Every day in college football just keeps getting crazier and crazier. Can you predict what's going to happen next? No, you can't. But that's before we get into talking this day, everybody. Thank you for watching this video. And if you like this video, like the video down below, give it the thumbs up, comment on the video. I answer the comments as best as I can. And if you like the channel, subscribe. I want to make this channel grow and see it become something better, become something more. But right now, let's talk about college football. Let's talk about the alliance between the ACC and the Pac-12. I read this and I'm like, are you serious? The ACC is going to have a loose affiliation, alliance 2.0, whatever you want to call it, of having the conferences possibly having their alliance meeting. The fact that the two conference champions potentially could meet in a championship game of sorts in Las Vegas. Then came out the other news that came out today, that the Pac-10 was moving forward with looking for a TV deal today. TV deal. Their own TV deal without adding anybody, because they want to find out what the dollar amount was. And when I was talking about yesterday in my last video, I was talking about the Mountain West Conference's TV deal, and thanks for the comments and let me know how much they made. But I found out something about the Pac-12's TV deal. I believe it's for the first and second tier rights, which Fox and ESPN split evenly. Let me get my little notes here. $21 million a school, basically, until 2024. Now, the prediction was, with USC and UCLA still being there for 12 schools, it was going to be $500 million, $450, $475, between $450 and $500 million. For 12 schools, that's a lot of money. Now they're talking about the fact that it could drop down, with those two schools gone, to $300 million. A $200 million loss with those two schools being gone. But I understand one thing. You were making $21 million before. If it is $300 million, 10 schools, that's $30 million a school. That's a $9 million pay increase per school. So folks, they may stay. But then you look at the Big 12. Big 12's current deal with Oklahoma and Texas is $35 million. And they haven't had their new deal yet, because I think they're kind of waiting to see what the Pac-12 does. Because if the deal with the Pac-12 and the Big 12 pulls out feelers, if you get this, they may be north of $40 million. They'll get a pay increase. Are the schools going to stay? Or are they going to go? And I was wondering, well, if the Pac-12 want to increase their TV revenue, would they want to add a Mountain West Conference school, primarily the big TV markets, San Diego, Las Vegas. And they said, we're not interested. Now, I think it's two reasons to look at this. One, it could be that they just want to see what there are as the 10, what they're going to get. And then, well, if we got this school, what would that do to it? And there's also the arrogance aspect. Now, having lived in Vegas prior to moving to Tennessee, lived there for 40 years, UNLV was desperate to get in the Pac-12. Desperate to get in. And they're doing, what are we doing wrong? Why can't we get in? Why can't we get in? And I'm like, other than winning football games, which is kind of important. How about this? In order to get into the Pac-12, under the current rules, you have to have an academic, research, and medical research rating better than the worst current member of the Pac-12. That basically means, like, let's just say it's Washington State. And Washington State has an academic rating of 51. It's the 51st school out of all the FBS schools. Your academic rating for your university has to be 50 or better. That's how they were doing it. Now, I don't know what they're doing. I think they may want to stick with the 10 and just do the Pac-10 with the Pac-12 name, and may not add anybody. However, if it doesn't work out, they can end up being the Pac-6 or the Pac-4 with all the schools leaving. And someone suggested an idea, and I forgot who it was, and I apologize for it. And I should mention in the comments, or I'm going to comment myself, put it in later. Mention it on an interview I was watching about the idea of possibly extending a no strings invite to Oregon and Washington, where they can come into the conference, but they don't have to sign a contract. You're a member of the school, and if Washington offer, and if the Big Ten offers you an offer, the SEC offers you an offer, give your notice and leave. You don't have to pay anything. It's an intriguing idea. But will the powers that be go for it? I don't know. Then there was some outrageous rumors I heard. Oregon's talking to the SEC. Oregon's talking to the ACC. The Pac-10's in trouble. I'm calling it the Pac-10 because that's what it is. The Pac-10's in trouble. Okay? And if you're a chancellor, president of your university, if you're worth your salt at all, you're contacting every other Power 5 to find out and gauge their interest. Are you interested in our school possibly joining your conference? You talk to everybody, no matter how remote the possibility is. That's being prudent. You have to. Not doing it is silly. You've got to ask everybody. Oh, anything going to come of this? Well, we'll find out in the next few days. I don't know. I mean, I would crack up if Utah, Colorado, and the Arizona schools left for the Big 12. I would find it hilarious. And Oregon and Washington sticking around with nothing to do, going, well, your Pac-6 right now is worth about $150. No, you're worth more. Actually, $150 would be accurate, about $150 million, which for 6 schools would be a little less than $30 million. Because of lack of content. But at that point, we'll see if they go into the Mountain West and decide to abandon their academic principles. But then again, I looked at an AAU list that I got a hold of, and the 3 schools, I think I mentioned this earlier, there are only 3 schools in the group of 5 that actually have an AAU rating. And that's Rice, Tulane, and the University of Buffalo. I figured if the ACC got poached, they might take the University of Buffalo just because of the fact that be a running partner for Syracuse. Rice for the Pac-12 to get into Texas, potentially. I said, oh, we're going to get all the schools from the Big 12. No, you're not. That ship sailed, kiddo. I mean, it's a possibility with all those leaving, it's just down to 4. I mean, I've been hearing from a lot of people that I didn't talk to who are Stanford fans said they would rather go independent than join the Mountain West. I said, okay, do that for a few years and have to pay those $1 million body bag game fees after so long and realize you're losing money until you change it out because you're not Notre Dame. Speaking of Notre Dame, Notre Dame turned down the invite. We all know this. I talked about this yesterday. Everybody's saying, money talks. Why aren't they joining? Well, money did talk. Why didn't they join? Because they can make more money. The ACC was letting them keep their NBC money and a chunk of the ACC TV deal. They're getting the best of both worlds. And now they're talking about the new NBC deal, which was paying them $30 million a game, $30 million for the season, could be up to $45 to $55 million. I'm actually 45 to 55 on the low end. Now they're talking 45 to 55, and possibly, as crazy as this sounds, 60 to 70 million for broadcasting 7 games. 10 million a game. If they get that much money, plus they get 30 million from the ACC, they're making as much as the Big Ten. And then you think about this. Why would they say no to the Big Ten? 1, all the bad blood. 2, simple point here. Why not be in the ACC, especially if the playoff expands? You get to go to the ACC and okay, Florida State, Miami, them are gone. It's a cakewalk to get in the playoff because there's nobody in the ACC worth the darn, especially if they've already gotten the automatic invite. That's what I think Notre Dame's waiting on. The college football playoff decision to be made. If they say, okay, the ACC doesn't get poached, they hold off on it till 2035, and they announce that the ACC will get an automatic invite, I think Notre Dame's in. Because they're waiting on that automatic invite. Because they know the SEC is going to take what they want out of them, and so will the Big Ten. Notre Dame can feast on the scraps and have an automatic invite to the playoff to boot. Because for them, Notre Dame, money doesn't matter. Does not matter at all. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. I'm going to make another video here in a little bit. Oh, I got some light out about some of the TV deals and potential ideas for what, if the Pac-10 stays put, what's going to happen to the group of five? If schools get poached, Big 12-wise, is the group of five going to change any? Well, we'll see. Because this isn't over, folks. I have a funny feeling this isn't going to be over until 2025. There'll be things happening to the last minute. But anyway, I'm that college football guy. So please, everybody, like the video, give it a thumbs up on the bottom, comment on the video, and subscribe. And as always, everybody, be good to each other.